I'm Dana Bristol Smith with Leap to Success, and welcome to Self-Care in Stressful Times. We are in our second season now. This is episode 4, and our topic or our theme from now until the end of the year is calming anxiety. We know that you are carrying around a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety, as we all are because of the continuing pandemic. So I'm really glad that you're here with us today because it's an opportunity for you to take some deep breaths, be guided through a mindfulness practice, and learn a new tool or two of how you can create a little bit more certainty in your life. So the topic today is going to be focusing on creating some new daily habits. So again, I'm really glad that you're with us. For those of you who are with us for our first time, perhaps on Zoom or maybe on Facebook Live or YouTube, we are Leap to Success, a women's empowerment organization based in Carlsbad, California. And our mission is to educate and empower women who are overcoming domestic violence, homelessness, and other major life challenges. Today is a special day because it's Giving Tuesday. So I want to take a moment and thank our donors. Our donors are really kind and generous people, many of whom are here in San Diego County and others who are in other parts of the state and other parts of the country who support empowering women, who support helping women heal from the traumas of domestic violence and homelessness. So being that today is Giving Tuesday, and we have been able to make all of these programs available at no cost to the women we serve and to you who are watching the Self-Care in Stressful Times, we want to give you an opportunity to give, to support our work, and to support us being able to continue the Self-Care in Stressful Times series. We started this at the beginning of the pandemic. We are now, this is about episode number 35, as the pandemic continues week after week, and we want to be here to support you. So if you take a look in the chat, you will see links to our fundraiser that is on our Facebook page, where Facebook today is matching all donations. And if you're not on Facebook, there will be a link to our donation site on PayPal. So if you would like to give, we would be most appreciative of your support because we want to continue to be here for you and all of the women in our community. I'm going to put up a graphic right now, and I love this. This really touched my heart over Thanksgiving. And what you'll see is that it says, "Let our lives be full of both thanks and giving." And if it's not up there yet, oh, here it is. It's coming right now. This graphic just really touches my heart. And I think about the work that we do at Leap to Success. And we are so thankful for the support of our community that allows us to do this work. And we give to the women we serve to help them heal, to help them along their paths of recovery. I'd like to go ahead and introduce my co-host right now, Kelly Grimes. So Kelly, come on and say hello.
Thank you so much, Dana. As always, it is a delight to be here, and I'm very excited to share some more tools with people.
Thank you, Kelly. And now we're going to start with our check-in. And my question to you is, what is your current level of stress and anxiety? And please rate yourself on a scale from 1 being low to 10 being the highest that you could possibly be feeling. And as you know, if you've been with us before, we do this at the beginning of every episode, and then we do a check-in at the end because we want to see if what we're doing is making a difference and if it's helping you lower your stress and anxiety. So I see responses kind of all over the place. From a low of 2 to a high of 8. And the poll will be closing in just a few seconds. And it looks like most of you who are with us live have voted. And it looks like here that we had the most numbers right at number 4, though we did have 5, 6, 7, and 8. but the most responses at 4. Okay, well, thank you so much for participating. Okay, now I'd like to guide you through a daily practice, something that you can incorporate anywhere in your day to just have a moment of calm. So where you are seated right now, go ahead, and if you're in a place where it's safe and comfortable to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. And take a nice deep breath in. What I'm going to walk you through is soft belly breathing. So go ahead and put one hand on your belly, because what I'd like you to do is take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you do that, feel your belly expand. Now go ahead and breathe out through your mouth. Very good. And go ahead and do that a few more times, breathing in through your nose, feeling your belly expand, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. That is soft belly breathing. And the suggestion for soft belly breathing is to do it at least 10 times. And pick a time in your day where or when it's convenient for you, where you can sit quietly for a moment and conduct soft belly breathing. Now, I've found that sometimes it's hard just to concentrate on my breath, and it's a little bit easier if I can attach some words to my breathing. So I'd like to offer this suggestion to you to create a mantra or an affirmation for yourself that you say over and over again that is connected with your breath. And I'd like to give you a few to consider. The first one is, I am peace. So what I'd like you to do is breathe in, and as you're breathing in your mind or out loud, say, I am. And as you breathe out, say peace. And go ahead and do that a couple of times on your own. Breathing in, saying, I am, and breathing out, saying peace. Good. And I like to do this while keeping one of my hands on my belly because it's reminding me to really fill up my belly, and that forces me to take a really deep breath. The next phrase that I'd like you to try out is, I am calm. So breathing in, saying, I am, and breathing out, saying calm. And go ahead and do that a couple of times on your own. Good. And the last phrase that I'm going to offer you is, I am filled with gratitude. So as you breathe in, say, I am filled, and breathe out with gratitude. And go ahead and do that a couple of times on your own. Good. So you have just taken a couple of minutes to intentionally calm yourself down, intentionally slow yourself down, and I bet that you are breathing much more deeply now, feeling much more centered and at peace. So try incorporating the soft belly breathing in your day, and try using a mantra like one of these. Either I am peace, I am calm, or I am filled with gratitude, or anything that you would like to experience in your life. But keep it simple so you can really connect those words as you breathe in and as you breathe out. So thank you so much for participating, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Kelly.
Thank you so much, Dana. So I love that soft belly breathing, and the addition of the mantra is really beautiful. You know, what we're going to look at today is what are daily habits that we can commit to that could really help us transform our anxiety in an ongoing way. So I love that we could do 10 breaths in and out in that really intentional way with a mantra. And that could be one way that we could really calm ourselves, calm our central nervous system, and really be able to be present in this time, which we know is so critical. So I thought that we would explore a little bit some ways of bringing intention and attention to these daily practices that could be so supportive to us. But first, I want to acknowledge that we are deeply aware that there's some people that for this time of year is really, really challenging and is difficult. It is not seen as a time, of joy and celebration, but more of a time of challenge with grief and loss and other things that come up for people. And anyone who is living through this pandemic knows that it's also kind of across the board. We're experiencing disappointments and changes in things as the normal ways of celebrating the holidays are not accessible right now due to the pandemic and staying safe. So I think for all of us, we can connect to just the need to bring some positivity and intention into the way that we care for ourselves. Because regardless of whether you find this to be an uplifting time or a time of challenge, nurturing ourselves is the key, right? To staying grounded and staying connected to ourselves and making intentional choices. So I want to offer you this proverb that's so helpful to me. It's a Chinese proverb, and it says, dig the well before you're thirsty. Now, this is key, right? The idea of having some practices, daily practices, actually keeps us filled up so that we can adjust, we can maneuver, we can be resilient in these difficult times with whatever shows up for us. So I want to offer you the first thing, which is exactly what we come together to do each time that you come for the self-care in stressful times, which is to schedule an intentional pause in your day. And that can look in a variety of ways, but the important part of it is that it allows you to reconnect with yourself, reflect on your day, check in with how you're feeling, and to ask yourself, what would be the most nurturing thing that I could do for myself in this moment? When you have this kind of pause already scheduled in your day, and you may find, gosh, around lunch is a good time to do that, or maybe at the end of the day is a good time to do that, or some people might want to start their day with this intentional connection and reconnection with themselves before they go out and nurture and support all the other people in their life, but really having this time that you can reflect. It can look like a more traditional meditation. It could look like the soft belly breathing, or it could simply be doing breathing and checking in with yourself. We've taught the arrival technique in other episodes and other ways of simply tuning in and paying attention. Now, what could be really helpful with this is once you have reflected and you've tuned in to what's happening for you, you could choose to journal. You could choose to find some way to reflect in writing so that you have something to go back to and can see, what things worked, what things were really supportive, because those are the things you can continue to do. The fact is that we know that even 10 intentional breaths or if you can expand it and allow yourself to have 10 minutes of intentional time for yourself, is going to provide a sense of balance, grounding, and presence with your day. So that would be the first thing, is to set an intentional time of pause. You can put an alert on your phone as a way of reminding you just to simply pause and check in with yourself. The next thing is to connect with your body. Now, we've talked a lot about daily practices over time and checking in with our bodies, but having an opportunity, particularly if you're feeling anxiety, to move your body in some way. So to connect every day with your body by practicing yoga, maybe putting on music and dancing, exercising, taking a walk, maybe doing a body scan. So lying down and really tuning in with each part of your body and checking in and seeing. And part of this practice is that you can actually move the anxiety out of your body and release it and transform it. But the other is to tune in to how you're feeling. Our bodies have so much wisdom for us that sometimes we don't listen to because we don't take a pause to check in. So I invite you to find ways to commit to some form of exercise and checking in with your body each day. And, for some people, it might be the same thing every single day. For other people, they may like variety. So give yourself permission to figure out what those things would be. But if you're noticing a lot of tension in your body, give yourself permission to do some stretching. Give yourself permission to take a walk or just shake it off, right? So that you have some real tools to not carry around that anxiety in your body. Because I've heard from many people over the last few weeks that more people are having migraines, more people are having tension headaches, other things that are giving them a lot of information that they're holding a lot of stress in their bodies. And so for you, if you had a daily practice of releasing the stress, that could be a really supportive thing during this time. The next thing, speaking of nurturing our bodies, that I want to bring our awareness to is to bring your attention and intention to your daily eating habits. This can really support us during the holidays. Now, I know there are so many treats and sweets and things to enjoy, and I'm not saying that that isn't what would be really supportive and lovely for you. But I think sometimes what we do is we end up comforting ourselves with food and other things rather than making intentional choices. So I'm going to invite you to think about what it might look like to choose foods that are grounding and healthy for you, to reinforce your support of your body and bringing mindfulness to your day. One way to do that is simply to tune into how you feel, both emotionally and physically, after you eat different foods. Maybe you enjoy that sweet, some cookie or something. Just tune in and see how you feel. For some people, they're really impacted by sugar and refined foods, and they may not feel well after. If they don't, they could make a different choice the next time. So having that pause allows us to be intentional with what we're eating. And what I love about that is it also gives us we can shift out of feeling restricted by something, instead of saying like, we can't eat sweets. That's not what I'm saying at all. Instead, we can bring a sense of self-nurturing. And we can say, whatever I put in my body is what would be supportive to me. So tuning into that. I know that one thing that Dana does is she makes these beautiful salads in mason jars, and then she has those throughout the week. I've been roasting veggies, on a Sunday, and then having them already prepared and having them throughout the week because I feel really grounded when I eat, roasted veggies. So whatever it is for you, I invite you into, bringing more awareness and intention to that. And in the process, it could be really creative and fun, right? You could decide, like Dana's done, creating these beautiful salads in these jars, something fun she does, with her family. And so find things that both can be nourishing and nurturing and make you feel good this holiday season. The next thing that I want to offer you that I just want to really bring into my holiday season is to reclaim the value of rest and non-doing. So much of the time we're working, and certainly those of us that, work from our homes and care for our families, it's hard to define the space and time between whether we're working or whether we're at home and off. So I'm going to invite us to do something really revolutionary and just take a 5-minute turn of doing nothing. And that doing nothing could look all different. It could be watching the clouds in the sky, watching the sunrise or the sunset. It could be putting on music and just enjoying, whatever your favorite music is, or holiday music if you like that. But finding ways that you can really just be, right? It could be calling a friend to share how your day is going or connect with a friend. It could be just simply following your breath in and out. But rest and non-doing is so incredibly important, and it gives us perspective, right? It helps us rejuvenate and refill so that whatever it is that we are doing and giving, we have our full presence. We have our full energy to give to what's going on. We've had a full moon recently, and it's been absolutely gorgeous just to take time to appreciate it and enjoy the beauty and the magic all around us that sometimes when we're in the flow of things, we may miss. That leads me to what we talked about last episode, and is a wonderful daily habit, but that is spending time each day pausing to acknowledge what you're grateful for and what are the blessings in your life. I gave quite a few different ideas in season 2, episode 3, about ways we could integrate gratitude into our day. And I invite you just, to find ways to not only have gratitude that you feel and allows to radiate out, but share your gratitude. Share your gratitude with everybody that you interact with, because indeed you have the potential of really creating a nurturing and supportive environment for anybody that you interact with. And it's a beautiful practice. And it's a practice that we talked about also that can be done individually or it can be done in a group. You can do it with your family. You can do it with your friends. And it definitely is one of those things, just like mindfulness, that really changes your brain chemistry, calms the anxiety, and really helps us focus on what we value, what's important. And I think during these times, we have an incredible opportunity to pause, to nurture ourselves, to maybe slow down. Maybe these holidays are going, the unexpected blessing is that the holidays will be more slowed down and we can really connect with what we value and what's important to us. So I wonder for you, what could be one daily habit that you would like to bring your intention and attention to that could help you manage your anxiety during this holiday season? I would be so grateful if you would share them in the chat, and then I can offer them to the rest of you so that we can have different ideas of ways that we're going to just bring more intention to these daily habits. And someone shared that they're going to stop, pause, and breathe. It's so interesting how it is the simplest thing, but it's not easy to do, right? We need to create a habit of doing that. So that's really beautiful. Another person's going to commit to soft belly breathing, really doing that. And we know that with soft belly breathing, when we breathe out through our mouth, the powerful thing is that we turn on our parasympathetic nervous system, and it settles our nervous system. So another person's committing to soft belly breathing as well. That's wonderful. Another person's committing to moving their body daily. I can't wait to hear how that makes a difference, because when we do that, we know how much anxiety gets caught up in our bodies. So that's wonderful. Another person's going to incorporate body movement into her day as well. And then to set a pause in their schedule every day, put an alarm on their phone. Someone else is going to recognize and become aware of gratitude. and someone else is going to enjoy a calming cup of tea. I love these. These are wonderful. Someone else is going to have a bubble bath, and just really intentionally bring in that relaxation, and then connect with a pet. That's a beautiful way. So these are all really lovely, and I invite you to continue to find more ways to bring intention and attention to your daily practices. And I thank you so much for being here, and I am excited to hand things over to Dana at this point.
Thank you, Kelly. That was great. And I'm so glad to see so much participation from folks who are live with us on this webinar. And it was great to see how many people are going to stretch and incorporate movement. And that's wonderful, because what I wanted to share with you at the end is that next week we are going to have a special guest. She's a personal trainer, and she's actually one of our Leap to Confidence graduates. Her name is Brittany, and she's going to be with us and walking us through stretching exercises that will help counteract sitting. I know that many of you who are watching are working from home. You're sitting on your computers all day, and if that takes a toll on your body. You probably feel sore in your shoulders and neck and hands and arms. I know that I do when I'm on the computer for a long time and when I'm sitting all day. So Brittany's going to walk us through a 15-minute stretching series of exercises. So I'm really happy that we'll have that and be able to share that with you. And it'll be an exercise session, so you'll go through it with us next Tuesday. What I'd like to do right now is take the poll again, the check-in, to see what is your current level of stress. So we saw at the beginning of our session today that most people were at about a 4, though we had some people up all the way at a number 8. So you see the responses coming in now, and it looks like most people are down by number 2. So I think we're doing a really good job, Kelly. I think we're really helping people to lower their stress, lower their cortisol, and just take some deep breaths and take time for themselves. So that's really wonderful. Yep, the most responses were a number 2. So that is fantastic. As we wind up in these final minutes together, I want to thank you again for joining us. And if you would like to support Leap to Success with a donation and you're on Facebook, please hop on over to our Facebook page and you will see Kelly Grimes fundraiser. Kelly has set a goal of $1,000 to raise today on Giving Tuesday and have Facebook match, which is so awesome. And she's more than halfway towards that goal already, and it's still early in the day. So if you're on Facebook, please hop on over there, and it's in the chat before, and yeah, it looks like it's there right now as well. And if you're not on Facebook, you can hop on over to our donation page on PayPal, and the link is there. To close today's session, I have a really special person. Her name is Sherry Neesham. Sherry is a longtime supporter of Leap to Success, and she's someone who has seen us grow, has seen the thousands of women that we've been able to help truly have transformation in their lives. And I've asked Sherry to share what it feels like to be a supporter of Leap to Success. So I'd like to introduce you to Sherry Neesham. Here she is.
I have to confess, I get a lump in my throat, and I have to be careful to answer without excess emotion. Because when you ask that question about how I feel, I immediately go back to a personal experience where I was in the room with many of these women, and I have never experienced what they experienced, but seeing hearing their stories, and the reality of what they've dealt with and seeing the glow on their faces and the support for one another, it still shakes me up every time I think of it, because it was so powerful. So when I think about the fact that I am funding more change, more love, more women that support one another, it's very real to me. I saw the women. I was able to experience their story, and it's an honor. And I have a lot of choices as to where I can give and where I can invest. And so this one not only hits the criteria of a return on the dollars that I give, but also it's so personally satisfying because it causes an emotional reaction for me. I heard their stories. That touched my life. I started to realize what other people deal with who are homeless or abused. I have never been either, but I got a sense of it, and that emotional reaction will always be with me and will always be important to me.